Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be talking to you today regarding the use of partial fractions. Partial fractions are the process of taking two fractions. Let's say we had 1 over x plus 2, and we were subtracting 3 over x minus 4. Now we know that if we are trying to do this subtraction, we would get our common denominator, which is the product of the two denominators. And this can be easily done. And as we go through, we multiply the first fraction by the second denominator, and we multiply the first fraction by the second fraction by the first denominator. As we do this, we end up adding like terms after our distribution and multiplying the two denominators together. So here we have a combined fraction. And our goal when we're dealing with partial fractions is actually breaking it back into what two fractions did we start with. This requires us to start by taking our two possible denominators, which requires us to factor the denominator completely. Once we have this, we're then looking at what two fractions with the given two denominators created our result. This is what partial fractions are. It's breaking it up into two fractions. Now we're always going to use a plus in between. If we do need a minus, it will show up in our value. And then we have our x plus 2, x minus 4. We generally put an a or a b or some other variable at the top. Now, this will allow us to decompose the fraction into its partial fractions, one or more terms. Now, there are two ways in which we can do this, which I will be showing you in just a moment as we go to our next video. So once again, we're talking about partial fractions. These are the partial fractions. And the process we're using is called decomposition of fractions. Now, there are two ways in which we can decompose fractions into the partial fractions, and that's what I'll be showing you next. Thank you very much.